Well, here I am again today. The news is just lovely today as long as Trump's calling out his appointees, which haven't been appointed yet. Uh, this one is particularly disturbing to me because Trump says he will nominate anti-woke Fox News host Pete Hegseth for defense secretary. Why do we need a Fox News host to be managing our military? Especially somebody who doesn't like trans and gay folks. Now, y'all, there's trans and gay folks in the military. There's folks of all races in the military. There's men, there's women who all want to defend our country. So, if you're not going to allow everybody in the country to defend the country, what the hell do you want? I'm out of my mind with this thing here. Trump's former U.S. generals and defense secretary among his fiercest critics with some. That's not the line I was going to read. Oh, yeah, it is. Trump's former U.S. generals and defense secretaries are among his fiercest critics, with some declaring him unfit for office. Trump has suggested that his former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, could be executed for treason. Well, talk about being two-faced, Mr. Trump. Who was good for treason on January the 6th? When your supporters crawled through windows in the U.S. Capitol building. Now, I understand that the Capitol building is public property, but we have locked windows and doors for a reason. It's called security. And if those locked doors and windows are not good enough to keep honest people honest and not to walk in to the U.S. Capitol in a place that's not the front door where people are allowed to come in, there's something wrong. I think Mr. Trump is long ahead of this ball game of being convicted for treason and executed. So you should just watch your mouth when you talk about who should be executed for treason, Mr. Trump. I think being executed for treason will require due process. The same due process that you, Mr. Trump, should get if you get tried for treason. But let's just not get things out of order here. If we're going to be trying people for treason, you're at the top of the line. This whole idea that you don't want all the people of the United States to defend the United States in military service is just it's just out of this world. You just must not think much of people in the military. This whole article talks about firing generals and leaders and such who are woke. All this means is These are leaders who want everybody in the United States to be allowed to defend the United States. I guarantee you there's trans people, gay people, black people, white people, women, Chinese people, Korean people, Japanese people, Irish people, Dutch people, you name it. Whoever lives over here and is a citizen of the United States, I guarantee you all those people would like to defend it. Well, maybe. Maybe they're not all quite strongly as interested in defending, by standing on the line. But they should all be allowed to have a choice to do that. And those that dedicate their lives to defending the United States, that's what should be important, not whether they're just like you or not. Just because they're not white, male, cisgendered, and oriented to your sexual preference, that should just have nothing to do with whether they're allowed to serve in the military. And I am sick of anybody talking about we're going to fire those woke folks. I'm sick of it. You don't have any good reason to put a Fox News host in as the Secretary of Defense. Somebody in this article said the Secretary of Defense should not be a newbie. Should be well experienced. That does not mean experienced as Fox News host. It means experienced in executing matters of military. Why don't you name somebody who's an expert at managing military affairs instead of Fox News host? I wouldn't even want a CNN news host to be doing that job. I want somebody who's an expert in military affairs to be doing that. And somebody who's not a racist would also be much better in that position. Hexas took aim at Brown in particular, asking whether he would have gotten the job if he were not black. Was it because of his skin color or his skill? We'll never know, but I always doubt, which on its face seems unfair to CQ. But since he was made the race card one of his biggest calling cards, it doesn't really matter if he wrote. Hexas, if you give a fuck what color Mr. Brown is, you need to exclude yourself from serving the United States. I mean it. I'm pointing my finger directly at you, Mr. Hexeth. If you care what color Mr. Brown is, you are not fit to serve this nation. If you want to do the right thing, you turn down this appointment. Because if you don't, we know that you're a racist. Because you're worried about Mr. Brown's skin color. I don't like it. Love you. Bye.